It was good, everyone. Hope y'all are doing good today. And today's video, I'm gonna be going over an in-depth guide on how to make builds, like any build you really want, and just a really in-depth guide on how to make a build. Because as soon as you get max level and like you want to do PvP, making builds is like the only thing you can really do. That's like PvP wise instead of PvE. So yeah, let's get right into it. I'll be going over Soul Reaper first, ARRANCAR then. After that, it's gonna be Quincy and then FULLBRINGER. I will put timestamps up in the video for all of them. So yeah, hope y'all enjoy. So the first thing we're gonna be starting off with is Spirit Soul Reaper. So for Spirit Soul Reaper, you have decent options on what to do and what not to do, all that. For Spirit Soul Reaper, your main extenders are going to be like either your like actual extender for your element, like you could do explosion up tilt, or you could do any like just any extender that your element has or anything like that. But if you don't want to use your elements extender, there's two options, or three, I think. You can get either Tenron, or you have to put Prodigy on it though, or Horan, and also there's Geki. And those are going to be your three options. In my opinion, the best one out of all of them is going to be Tenron or Geki. I don't think it's worth going or running Horan because it's kind of horrible in my opinion. But yeah, that's it. And that's the extended part down. So we're going to be moving on with the other moves that you're going to use your combos with. One move that I categorize as like is necessary in a build, you need a guard break. I use Sokatsui for my guard break, but the reason that I think a guard break is really essential for your build is because not everyone's gonna be good at backstabbing every single time. Even like even the best players in the game, like they're not gonna backstab everyone and anyone every single time. You're right. So you're gonna need a guard break so people don't hold block against you. You know what I'm saying? So for Spirit Soul Reaper, you guys can use like an elements guard break, like impact point for explosion, or Glacier's Frostfang, or gravity. I think gravity has one too. If I'm not wrong. Yeah, it does. Gravity. You can use gravities, or literally anything that guard breaks. So and your options for like non-element moves are going to be High-end used to be a really good one, but it doesn't guard break anymore, so that's a bummer. And you could use, let's see here, Storm Blitz, but I'm not Spirit Lightning, so it's whatever. I don't recommend using like Shokaku or anything with a high startup. That's not good. Like Getsuga or something like that. That will be really easy PB. If you want to do like a guard break that's like not element based, you guys can do Ryatsu Ball. Ryatsu Ball recently got buffed, and the startup for it is a lot faster. So it's a reliable guard break now, if you're good with it. So that's the second part of the build essentials. The third part of your build essentials is you want to have a move that you can use to bait out their evasive to land the main combo. If you know what I mean. So for this build right here, I have this move right here, Kuretsugi. You usually want that move to be a high damaging move, so people actually want to evasive it out. And for this one, I use Kuretsugi because it does high damage, especially in mode. So people are gonna evasive that, so I can land my other combo, which is gonna be Tenron, this into this. Now, which brings us into our other part of the build, which is going to be your high damaging move. For me, I have Shinten, or I can usually switch these around. I can like bait evasive with this and get this for my damage, but it depends. And that's going to be a high damaging move. A high damaging move is a high damaging move, and you usually want it to be like confirmable with your extender or like just M1s in general, but which you can with Shinten, or you can use aerial tandem or any other move to confirm it. Like with fire, there's that fire pillar move, like that would serve in place of aerial tandem, so you can confirm your high damaging moves and stuff. So yeah, That's gonna be it for Spirit Soul Reaper, and let's get on to Strength. All right, so now we're on Strength Soul Reaper, and whenever you're on Strength Soul Reaper, your options broaden by a lot since you have access to Hakata and Kendo moves. So for your extenders for Strength Soul Reaper, you could same thing goes for every element or any race. You can just use your elements extender, unless you have music or something, but you don't have an actual GCD extender. But most of the time you will, and you can just use that. That will work just fine. But your other options for extenders will be Impale, and you will also get Dispersing, Fleeting Whirlwind, and you also get Cyclone. Don't use Cyclone. It's probably the worst extender you can use. You can just use anything else. In my opinion, the top three would be like, depends on your elements extender, but top three non-element extenders, it would be Dispersing, Fleeting Whirlwind, and then I would say Impale. I like Impale personally because I just know it just fits my playstyle more, but you guys can pick whatever you want. So and moving on to our guard break, you can there's a varieties of guard breaks in the game. You can just pick any guard break that fits more your playstyle the most. I use lunge because it fits my playstyle, and yeah, really it's just personal preference of guard breaks. I will list the guard breaks right here. So I think the first one, according to me, in my personal opinion, is going to be lunge. I love using lunge. And second one, you could use any like elements guard break, just has to fit your playstyle. And then number two is going to be flash stamp, and then number three, whatever your element has. Like lightning guard break, I think it's better than flash stamp. So it's interchangeable, depending on what you like. So for your evasive baiter, you want to have either Sokotsu, or you want to have a move like let me think. You want to have a move. You want to have a move like, let's see here. Like let's say, let's go off that. Let's go to wind. The wind triple gale move. That one it's a high damaging move, so people will generally will evasive that, or it just any move like that that you can confirm off your M1s, and like it will usually make people evasive. That's what you want to do. But the best one for strength is gonna be Sokotsu by far. And moving on to our high damaging moves. For strength, you don't really have to worry about moves doing that much damage, so you can just have like anything that's like a secondary combo, as I like to call it. So a secondary combo is basically going to be that if your extender is on cooldown, you have like another combo you can do, like aerial outspeed or something like that, which is like really useful in most scenarios and will help you a lot. So you can pretty much choose whatever moves that you think will go really well with your build. For me, I think this aerial outspeed thing is the best thing for strength soul reapers, because outspeed, if you land it, it doesn't have any end lag, and aerial assault is just good. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for strength soul reapers. So yeah, we're gonna move on to ARRANCARs. All right, so moving on to strength ARRANCAR. We're gonna be going over our extenders, our diversity of extenders. So for this build I'm using is my personal beast build. I use banishing for, I think you if you have banishing in your build, usually you won't need another guard break, because banishing itself, it already is a good guard break and it extends as well. Also, it's an extender, so yeah, you wouldn't really need lunge with this build, so just a heads up. But if you're running like another extender, like let's say dispersing or beast extender or chaos extender, something like that, you generally do want to run a guard break with this. So just a heads up on that. So like I said, you can use your elements extender, whatever you want, but the top three extenders for me in like non-element wise for strength ARRANCARs is going to be banishing on number one. Number two is going to be I think it's dispersing. Dispersing would be number two. And then number three, it's kind of difficult because I do like Impale, but you can also use, hold on, where'd it go? If I could find it, that would be cool. I guess I don't have it, but number 3 is either Impale or it's gonna be what's Fleeting. It's a tie between those two in ARRANCAR wise, because Fleeting can be good because you can confirm a lot of stuff off of it, and Impale, I just like Impale because of, you know, personal preference. And yeah, those are gonna be the extenders for this, and we're gonna move on to guard breaks. For your guard breaks, ARRANCARs usually have really good options for guard breaks, especially if you're using Vessel. Vessel has has a really good guard break, which you can run. Actually, you can have about 3 guard breaks with Vessel if you wanted to be honest. And now we're going to be moving into the territory of block bypasses, which ARRANCARs are specialized in. And with those are going to be Showstopper, Unrivaled, Headstrong, and then the music boombox move, whatever it's called, and Comila in mode. Those are going to be your block bypassers. You can use them with your block breakers, or you can just use them by themselves if they do high enough damage, like I have this over here. And yeah, that's gonna be your guard breaks, or sorry, your guard breaks like block bypassers or whatever. And then for your like evasive wasters, you can just have any high damage move. Like I said, Sakotsu is going to be the best option for strength by far. So I would just recommend using this instead of anything else, to be honest. It fits most playstyles. So yeah. And then you have your secondary combo. I mean, Aerial Assault is just a really good high damaging move. You can't evasive it at all. Or you can just use like you're dashing, and like and then they hold block, and you can just do this. It's pretty good, like 200-300 damage. You can just do that. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for strength ARRANCARs. Let's move on to Spirit. All right, so let's move on to Spirit ARRANCAR. Now this is where things get interesting, because Spirit ARRANCARs, they don't really have like good guard breaks in my opinion, because I don't know, it's like Spirit ARRANCAR is more keto, like not keto, Sarah based, and Sarahs are like really easy PBable. So if you're gonna do Spirit ARRANCAR, either you want to go with Manifest for that guard break, or you want to go, let's see, Astra. Manifest, Astra, or Stark maybe. If you want to do Chaos Spirit, I mean, Chaos Spirit is really good, don't get me wrong, but if you want to do that, you have to be kind of good at not guard breaking. Backstabbing in general, you kind of have to be good at it to play Spirit Chaos. And one good thing about I want to show y'all that I found about Spirit Chaos is that in mode, there's this cool new passive now where your M1's scale 12.5% of your spirit scaling. So with that, we're gonna spawn the dummies real quick. Didn't mean to do that, oopsies. We're gonna pop this real quick and just watch my M1 damage. I'm a spirit build. Mind you, I'm a little glassy, but 63 M1 on a spirit build is absolutely diabolical. So back to what I said, that if you can land your backstabs and everything, Spirit Chaos might be for you, because look at this damage. And yeah, so for your extenders for Spirit ARRANCAR, generally you want to use your elements, because that's going to be the best one. You don't really have any other options unless you have like Skyward Plummet or something. I don't know, which I do not recommend using. Don't use that. So yeah, your extender is gonna, your like elements extender is gonna be the best one. So whatever element you have, you can just use that extender if you're gonna get a Spirit ARRANCAR. And for your guard breaks, you don't really have one. Just use your elements if you have one. But that's really it for that. And then your high damaging moves. Oh my god, ARRANCARs have at least Spirit ARRANCAR has so many high damaging moves. Like you got Terra Oscura, Sarah Metroletta, you got Grand Ray Sarah, you got all the different Sarahs, Agare Sarah, Ryodon. Actually, Ryodon's universal, but it's a lot better for ARRANCARs. Anyways, those are gonna be your high damaging moves. And with those high damaging moves, you want to have like you want to have a move that can confirm it, like confirm the high damaging moves. You know what I'm saying? Like you could either use a Chaos Blaster to confirm all your Ceros, or you could use the Manifest Shotgun move, or the Manifest Bicycle move, or even the Extender for Manifest. Manifest is usually the element you want to go with if you want to confirm all of your Ceros. If like you have a lot of Ceros, that's what you want to do. And for any other moves that you can confirm with, I think no, you can't do that anymore. I didn't nerf that. But yeah, those are gonna be the high damaging, but you want to have a confirm for that. That's what you want. So yeah, and your evasive wasters are usually gonna be like Agares Arrow or any other move that you can confirm off your M1s. Really, that's gonna be your main evasive wasters. So yeah, let's get on to. I think it's time for Spirit Quincy. Yeah, let's get on to Spirit Quincy. All right, so moving. Oh, all right, so moving on to Spirit Quincy. Spirit Quincy, there's not really a lot of diversity you can have. Really, it's like only one or two good moves that are like not elemental abilities. Like you could say, I think Arrow Barrage is a decent move now because there's a new change where if you look at my not this without two crystals, you can see if I put Ecor on this. Let me just do that. It should proc on every crystal, like proc a crystal hit on every hit. So back then it didn't used to do that. So now you can see it's proccing Ecor on every hit, and it does it around. It does decent damage, and my stats are like this. Y'all wondering. So yeah, I think that's a good move. Trick Shot is definitely a must if you're doing like a Quincy build, or yeah, any Quincy build in general. I think Trick Shot is a must. So let's get right into our extenders. For your extenders, you actually do want to use your Elements extender. You don't want to use this. Please don't use this. There's one other alternative that you can do is like that's Kurosaki, like the Kurosaki cleanse extender, which isn't that bad. It's pretty good. I think it confirms Springer, if I'm correct, but I'm not sure. For your elements, your extenders, you really want to use your Elements extender. That's the main thing I want to clear up real quick. And for your guard breaks, you don't really have a lot of options, but you can use like this move. This move gets people off guard. Heisen's a decent guard break, but you can use any element guard breaks like Eidolon's extender or Forest. Actually, no, Forest isn't guard break, but Forest is like extender. It's pretty good in my opinion. And what else? You can use Oasis, the Era move. Duality, for your duality, your extender is frame 1 and it backstab, so you don't really need a guard break. So yeah, that's it for duality. And then for your high damaging moves, you could have Springer, you could have Ryodon, Blue Ignite. No, don't run Blue Ignite. What you want to do with Quincy, you always want to run Heart. Heart is the best cybernetic there is. You always want to do that, just to get one thing clear. So you're gonna have to do that. And then your evasive wasters are either going to be Trick Shot or any elemental move, like let's say Haunt and Eidolon. You have your Rainmaker on Oasis, all that good stuff. But yeah, the Quincy Spirit, it's not very diverse, so there's only a limited amount of things you can do with it. So that's going to be it for Quincy. Let's get on to Strength Quincy. So moving on to Strength Quincy, which is completely the opposite of Spirit Quincy, where you actually do have a decent amount of options to go with. You have access to Kendo, you have access to, I think there's some Quincy Strength moves that you can use. If I'm not wrong. Actually, I am wrong. There's not a lot. You can use Heisen or whatever, but that's usually it. So for our extenders, for our main extenders, like I always say, it's best to just go with your Elements extender. Unless you're on Sleeper or ARRANCAR, it's just best to go with your Elements extender. Like I have Vermin right here. This extender is very good. If you could put Wind on this, it could backstab. It can go behind people's backs or whatever. Good extender. And so yeah, and moving on to our guard breaks, you could have Lunge, Flash Dam, or something like that. Something like that fits your playstyle. Or you could have your elements, which I like to use on Vermin. I like to use this, which is, I think it can extend if you have Prodigy on it. Hold on, let me go do that real quick. We're gonna get some Ratsu crystals. Gonna put Prodigy on this. Want to drill? There we go. And we're gonna go on a dummy real quick. I'm gonna have to use my extender to confirm it, but it can extend. So, oh shit, never mind. I just suck. But you can extend off that. You have to move your last hit away from them, and then you can extend. So anyways, you can do that, or you can just run any extender you want, whatever element you have, like Oasis. If you run in Strength Oasis, you can just use the arrow move. That one's a really good extender. APOC, you have your extender. You on Eidolon, you also have your extender. For Odyssey, you have your pulverizing move, whatever it's called. The where you go up in the air and then you slam down. That one's pretty good if you know how to use it right. Yeah, for our evasive wasters, it's gonna be trick shot, all that good stuff. Trick shot. For APOC, actually no, not APOC doesn't have one. Kinda, the extender kinda does, but not really. For Eidolon, you can have your extender as a evasive waster, and you can have your other moves to do more damage. For Odyssey, it's gonna be your like the wormhole move. If you land it, it's a good evasive waster because it does extend. And if you want to run strength duality, your extender is usually gonna be your main evasive waster because trick shot and other damage sources are gonna be your main combo, like main like damage source. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, your high damaging moves, you don't really have to worry about that because you're on strength. Your M1s are gonna do majority of the damage. Sakotsu, oh yeah, I forgot to mention Sakotsu, still the best evasive waster for strength in general, to be honest. Yeah, I think I've covered everything for strength, Quincy. And we're gonna move on to strength Fullbringer. Alright, going from Quincy to Fullbringer, we're gonna be doing strength Fullbringer. And just to get off the first thing, I think this is the best Fullbringer build you can make right now. Dimension is good right now, but I feel like Clock is just on another level. And let's get right on with it. For your extenders, you actually have 3 options. You can either use Firefly Assault, Blitz Kick, or you can just use your handy dandy element extender. I think for most cases, Blitz Kick is gonna be your best extender. Even if you have like a decent element extender, Blitz Kick is gonna be the best one. Let me show you. So if you're doing Strength String, you want to run Blitz Kick, Strength Midas, Blitz Kick, or Firefly. For Kether, you want to run Blitz Kick. You want to for Clock, you want to do your actual extender because this one's actually pretty good. For Amazon, you want to do Blitz Kick or Firefly because Amazon's extender is not the best extender. It's still good, but it's not the best. For Dimension, you just want you really gonna want to use your extender for like your actual extender for Dimension because that one's actually pretty good. For our guard breaks, you don't really have that much options. It's just kendo moves. You can use Flash Stamp, Lunge, whatever floats your boat. But you can use your elements guard break like this or Kether's guard break, which you're gonna have. If you're doing Kether, you want to use all Kether moves. If you're not, you're kind of settling your build. And for like Strength String, you want to use your Opening Thread as your guard break. For Midas, you want to use your 14 karat Gleam. They're not Gleam, sorry, Duster. You want to use that as your guard break. For Clock, you have this move right here. It's a good, decent guard break, and you can confirm Sakotsu and this off of it. And for Dimension, you have your Savage Skewer, and for Amazon, you have a block bypass, so that's good. And for your high damaging moves, it's either gonna be your high damaging moves are gonna come from your element, that's for sure. Because Fullbringers don't have like crazy high damage. It's really, I think this might be the worst race in the game, not even gonna lie, but it's more skill based, as I could say. So yeah, you really want to get those M1s in and all that. Actually no, we do have one move, the Michi Bonnet ult and some spirit scaling moves, and then that's it. For your evasive waster for strength, obviously it's gonna be Sakotsu, best thing in the game. Not really the best thing in the game, but best evasive waster in the game. You know the drill. Or you could use this move. This move is goes up. If you hit him, people sometimes evasive, sometimes not, but depends. And for your what's it called? Like extra utility move, you could just use like an extra guard break or an extra like move that you need to confirm another move. Just anything you really like that you prefer or something. And yeah, that's covered everything. And let's go on to our last thing, which is going to be spirit fullbringer. All right, so moving on to our last and final one, spirit fullbringer. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention you do have some fullbringer moves that you can use, like lumen zip or something like that, or what's it called, terraform, but they're not that good anymore, so you don't have to worry about that. They're only good with spirit, which I'm going to mention now. For your spirit, your main extenders, just use your elements extender, best one. I'm not even going to worth mention the other ones. There actually isn't a lot, so we're just going to leave it at that. Use your elements. And then for your guard breaks, you just use your elements. Midas is a good one, strength is a good one, and those are really the only two spirit fullbringers. So yeah, you're gonna, for your guard break, you do have some options. You have terraform is a decent guard break, and then you have your elements, duster, and opening thread. That's it. And for your evasive wasters, you usually gonna have snare for your string. Then you have duster for Midas. It's a really good evasive waster. And then you have your, what else is it called? Actually, yeah, that's it. That's all you have. Also, one other evasive waster, or kind of a utility move if you think about it. It's Gust. Gust is a really good move. If you want to run Midas, I definitely recommend you use Gust, which is a really good move. And then for your high damaging moves, you're usually gonna have it's gonna be either one of your element moves, or you can use Michibane, which is like the only really high damaging move that fullbringer, like spirit fullbringers, have in general. You want to usually have a move that confirms it. For string, I think your extender still confirms it in air, and for Midas, it's gonna be the duster move that confirms it. So yeah, I've laid down the basic guidelines and everything for builds, like guard breaks, extenders, high damaging moves, evasive wasters, and then just a secondary combo move or a utility move. Those are the 5 basic elements of just, builds in general and how to make a build. And I've gone over almost every race. So yeah, next video, I think Clock is winning the poll right now, so I think Clock is going to be next. So, and that will be my last video until I come back from vacation, which should be around 2-3 weeks. So that's it for the video. Hope y'all enjoyed. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out.